So you might see me on the table through points of this 2-hour video. There we go. As I said, highly recommend not doing it unless you've got a table sturdy enough and strong enough to hold your weight, like this one has the ability, which I'm very much glad about, to be honest, because the idea, if you don't have a sturdy table like mine, this oak table, which by the way, which when I move out, when time is up to move, I forget that fence there. There's a slight downside when you do all this thing and you almost completely forget you're sitting on basically a section of, there you go, I've got it sorted. But yeah, I basically sit on this table from time to time sorting things out. Right. Right, what was I going to do? Ah yes, we're going to put some trees in, which I think this section here, we can have the odd tree here somewhere, but I think we can take that one up, because where it is a little bit strangely placed. I didn't know why at the time I thought that was a good idea there, but should be right. We've got a bunch of other trees on this mat, so on this table, they just randomly placed at the moment. Oh, there we go. Just saw the gap in with some stones. Yeah, it's the ideal thing. Right, so put stone, put tree in there, which you've got a bit of grass, which isn't even bad, because it's looking a bit bizarre when there's a hole left. Right, okay, so put a couple of trees there, and then stick them down where the tree spot is sitting in, so I think there will be alright. Yeah, that should be right there, and then the other one in the corner, or even maybe over here somewhere, so that way we've got some sort of tree trim fencing, and then, yeah, that would work quite nicely actually there. Do that. Right, my super hot glue, very effective glue, even though it's a very old glue gun. It does quite work, it works really well for its age. It's remarkably well actually. It's heading on 5-6 years now, and that's old. Actually it's probably easily 5 years old now, this glue gun. I got it when it was on sale in B&Q, where we used to have a B&Q not that far away from us. But they closed it down, and assuming they closed it down because they didn't make much money. That's what my guess would be. Another thing I'm going to quickly mention, bring up now, is Christmas Eve, my last day of filming for this year. I am going to be filming 3 to 4 hour video on that day, so definitely a day to maybe make sure you put some snacks with you and some popcorn and whatnot, and because I've got some interesting things to bring up on that one, so when that time comes I've got to mention at least a few things, even if it's not a lot, it's just little things here and there about, you know, new trains, new scenery, stuff like that. But the idea is, I just want to bring up some new possible goals for myself as well as the channel, because the way things are going now with YouTube nowadays, and also being YouTube is the new platform of TV, which is true, it is a formal way of new platform for TVs, because the amount of stuff you can get on it now, which is crazy. Right. Slight difficulty everything around the... Oh, typical. Always get stuck. Well, we've been filming for an hour and a half, or just over. Oh, cracky. Time is getting on. Right. So we're going to also stick in a section. So we just put this tree in right there next to the stones. And we've obviously got that tree next to the house, which is pretty cool. Anything else is going to be added to today's video. I am sitting on the table, as you can see. I wouldn't call it very professional, but it's the only way I can reach certain areas of the table. So I have to sit on the table, but I'm able to reach certain areas of the layout. And the way the centre of the town is, I have to sit on the table doing it. So that way, I know it's not professional, but it's the only way I can get around to actually get some scenery on the layout. It's the only way I can do it. I don't have long arms. Alright, if you... Yeah, don't blame me, blame my dad. He never had long arms himself. So, yeah, if you want to blame anyone, blame him. He's the one who, you know, so to say, got my mum pregnant at the time. But, yeah, he never had long arms. So maybe I got that from him. Not everyone has grown up in even if it's from their mum's side or their dad's side, it's just sometimes you don't always get either long arms or be tall enough to reach things. It's just little things like that do help when you're doing things like scenery or reaching somewhere up in a high place. And everyone's taller than you, makes you feel a bit vulnerable to no one else can reach themselves and someone else for you. My mum has that problem, and so does my granny, but they're quite a lot less taller than me, and obviously I'm a lot less taller than some of my other parents, so I've never been that tall in life, but in some ways it's alright to not be tall, because the idea you can reach any place you want to. Excuse me. I think the dust has just set me off again. Sometimes it makes you sneeze, sometimes it makes you cough. I'm not entirely sure why. Dust sets me off as quickly as that, but I'm guessing maybe it's a different type of head. Because it's a different type of dust, because from the stones it had a particular type of dusty effect when I got the pack. I'm guessing maybe it stops the stones coming from being particularly brittle, not brittle, that's the wrong word to think about, the wrong word to bring up for stones. And maybe it stops them from being so dry, so it makes them a bit more difficult to move around, depending on sections of maybe your garden, or your layout, or something on that line. I'm actually saving my J2 to actually get through this video and not feel thirsty, which makes a change. So, I don't want to over drink it, because even though we've got basically just under an hour to go to actually do some scenery, I guess. Right, what else are we going to do? Oh yes, there was another thing I'm going to put up here while I'm sitting up here on the table, which I know some people say that's a bit bizarre to sit on the table and you're out. Yeah, you could call it that, but to be honest, it's not all that bad really. It might be a bit odd, but it does what it does, and I think in a lot of sense it really does not matter if you're sitting on your own layout, especially if you've got a table that can manage that really well and it's not going to likely to collapse on you. You should be okay. But yeah, sometimes it's just, you know, there's always something to be like a little bit suspicious about, because someone's sitting on the table and it's like, He's supposed to be up there. But, you know, I just wanted, sit up here. Since actually the day I got it, I think it arrived like on I can't remember, but I think it was like, was it the 15th of July or August? But I knew it took a while to come down because obviously the benefit of the chap who brought it down for us was quite strong. And we didn't carry the board down like Pamela said. We didn't carry the table down. We just sat here. The guy came with the thingy. I can't remember what it's called. But it's basically like the type of trolley. We brought a little trolley along with the table, so it's like a handler thing. There's a small handler. People actually doing the work, and my mum and my granddad actually able to. My mum and my granddad actually put it up for me. They decided to go indoors. I started to set on my railway, and the day I got it, I was so chuffed to set everything up, and just the idea of setting everything up and, you know, running trains on it was just the best day for me. And I bought a bunch of track, a bunch of locos, and I started enjoying it. It was like, I had many ideas for this. This is before I even wanted to move out of the house, and obviously since the last couple of years, I've started to think time to move on, but can't do that until the cats have passed on, at the very least, because obviously my mum doesn't want to move them again, but which I get, but yeah. So I guess when that day comes, I should be ready. I should be able to know how to move them up to at least the summer tent, so I shouldn't really care, but I can manage to live on my own with what I got already. And I never want to work. I try to avoid that at all costs. I really not like the idea of working at all. If for someone or some grumpy old manager just decides to be snuffy just because you're late or that being there on time, and it's like, we're not expecting you early. See, that's the sort of thing I expect a lot of people have in a wagon. The boss will be fussy and happy mood about something, and then they're seeing their workers coming in a few minutes later and they get really grumpy. I happened to one of my teachers at school once, just the idea of thinking of that. The head teacher, we used to have a head teacher, we had a few head teachers in our school there. One called Penny, and then the other one called, I can't remember her name. Is it Jodie? Or Joe? Or something? And she came around and introduced herself as the new head teacher, was basically the head of the school. And yeah, Penny was the head teacher for a while, and then someone else took over her job. This is when I was doing Mark's class, I think. And I can't remember why, but I think Mark gave one of my teacher called Mark actually at school. He actually for one lesson we decided to have a free time early, and they decided to give us shaving foam to play with, because we're in special needs school. We had a bit of fun a lot of the time, so we decided to have play with some shaving foam. And if you've done the work really well, they either take you to the playroom, which is a sub playroom, or therapy room, which is like lights, music, sound, colour with the classic sort of calm music,